Midori Ito.
The main star of the new tournament will be Midori Ito. The season in figure skating is coming to its logical end. While in Russia the last starts are held only by juniors, the World Team Championship is taking place on the international arena. But even after it, there will still be interesting starts in May. For example, the ISU wants to relaunch tournaments for veteran skaters who retired years ago, but still miss the ice. Interestingly, they will perform and compete with amateurs. Among the participants of the next tournament in Oberstdorf will be, for example, the Japanese woman Midori Ito, the first quaidist in history. What to expect from such competitions and what are the prospects for this idea? Have you heard about Midori Ito? This is a figure skater from the early 1990s, and she is known primarily for being the first to be able to set several historical achievements at once. Fingers crossed, she is the first woman to land a combination of two triples, 1981, a combination of double loop plus a triple loop, 1983, 5 different triple jumps in competition, 1988, 6 triple jumps in competition, 1989. And besides, Ito is the first to conquer the triple axel at the Olympics. Moreover, she already combined 3.5 turns with cascades of triple ones. Ito is a cult figure for sports and especially for Japan. In fact, she opened the country's interest in the species and became Japan's first superstar. She had a long and fulfilling career. Well, now Midori will once again play for Japan at the World Championships. The world champion and Olympic silver medalist was included in the lists for the 2023 World Championship in Oberstdorf. Would you say that the World Championship was already held in March in Saitama, and the Team Championship is now going to Tokyo? So we are talking about another World Championship among veterans. ISU is actively developing figure skating among adult amateurs. In this sport, there is still a Coubertin tradition to call lovers those who go to the Olympics and the World Championship. But let's not illude ourselves. Not only do there are solid prize money at the same Grand Prix stages, which no longer makes you an amateur, but in principle, training twice a day on ice is problematic to call a hobby, even if formerly athletes are considered doctors or lawyers. So now we are talking about real amateurs who go out on the ice on weekends and after work. But what does Midori Ito have to do with it? The fact is that already existing adult skating tournaments practically do not receive public attention. What can I say? And the ISU itself refers to them insofar as, initially, the initiative to support mass amateur skating came from the German Figure Skating Federation. In the main figure city of the country, Oberstdorf, these competitions were held. Over time, they received a special status. However, ISU support was not complete even in the information field. For example, neither start lists nor final protocols were published on the website of the International Skating Union. So even though the tournaments were considered analogous to the World Cup, there was no real feeling of a large-scale event. But the ISU has before its eyes examples of how to approach the matter. For example, tournaments of the Masters series from FINA, which are sometimes no less interesting to follow than the Big Water World Championships. By analogy with Masters, adult skating implies age categories. The minimum age is 28 for singles and couples, 25 for representatives of synchronized skating. They are also allowed to compete. There is also an extreme bar. Those who are over 78 years old will not be allowed to show their skills to the competition. Now ISU has decided to attract interest in amateur sports in an unusual way by crossing it with professional sports. From this year, in addition to age categories, there will also be categories by skill level. Participants of the World Championships, European Championships, Grand Prix stages in one category. Adult national starts in the second, junior tournaments and children's in the fourth, and those who started skating for the first time only as adults compete separately in order to maintain fair competition. The divisions were called gold, silver, bronze and so on. So far, of the really big stars, only Midori Ito has subscribed to the idea. Nevertheless, the idea itself is extremely promising. Indeed, in addition to the expected media interest in the starts, which will help promote amateur competitions, such an approach can return idols of past years to the ice. Isn't this a gift for a fan? Of course, it must be said that this is far from the first such attempt. In the 1990s and 2000s, the idea of a world championship among professionals was actively developed. True, the tournament had neither a proper status nor a normal sports component, only a pretentious name, the specifics of which we have already explained. And then, when the ban on the participation of active skaters was lifted, interest in this format completely disappeared. Therefore, Alexei Yagudin is called the gravitiger of professional tournaments. In 2012, there was another attempt to revive them, but to no avail. In part, the desire to bring back the stars of the past can also explain the recent tournament of show programs in Russia. Ironically, Yagudin won it again. Nevertheless, the ISU project looks viable, if only because the competitions will have clear regulations, and even the minimum technical level will be prescribed for the participants, different depending on the participation division. Amateur sport is the basis of elite sport. Even if we don't say pathetic things about a healthy lifestyle, there is a direct correlation between the sports activities of adults and the success of national teams. Parents who ride themselves will bring their child to the section with great interest, who, it is possible, will be able to fight for high places in official competitions. In addition, practicing amateurs are the basis for the fund of fans. And fans are the basis of the financial viability of any sport.